There's a moment that happens with Parkinson's that nobody warns you about. It's not the tremor, it's not the stiffness, it's not even the fatigue. It's the moment you realize you're more tired of explaining yourself than you are of the disease. And if you ever caught yourself apologizing for something that isn't actually your fault, then stay with me because this isn't about being tired. It's about being tired of having to explain why you're so tired. You know what I mean?
Welcome to Living with Parkinson's. The good, the bad, and the reality. Real talk, real life, real community with Bryce Perry. Let's begin.
Hey, welcome back to the broadcast. If you're new here, my name's Bryce, and just a big hey and welcome to our 3,000 new subscribers over the last month. So I am glad you're here. So again, it's about being tired of having to explain why you're tired. Somebody asks a totally normal question, something simple. Why can't you decide? Why don't you just do it later? Why are you so quiet today? And in your head, you've already started the math. Okay? Meds are wearing off, energy's low, brain is foggy. I've already used today's quota of explaining. Instead of answering the question, you apologize. Sorry, or yeah, it's just one of those days, or it's fine. Even when it's not fine. Now here's the part that gets sneaky. At first, explaining feels helpful. You think, if I just explain this well enough, people will finally understand. So you explain your symptoms, your timing, your limits, your energy. But after a while, you start to realize something. That explaining costs energy, and not a little bit. The same energy that you need to function is the energy that you're using to help other people feel comfortable. Now, let me give you a real example. I've been out with people before feeling okay, not great, but feeling okay. And someone asks, what do we want to do next? And that is a totally reasonable question. But suddenly my brain goes blank. And not because I don't care, not because I don't have an opinion, but because to answer that question properly, I'd have to explain about my meds, about my timing, and how if we do this now, I'm going to pay for it later. And how I'm already doing the internal math on whether I'll even make it home without crashing. So instead of saying all of that, I say, whatever works. And everyone thinks I'm just being easygoing. But what I'm really doing is avoiding a 5-minute explanation that I do not have the energy for. And if that sounds like you, give me a hashtag whatever works in the comments so everybody knows they're not alone and I will feel like I'm not alone. But here's the problem. When I do that later, I'm annoyed. I'm annoyed not at them, but at myself. Because I agreed to something I didn't actually want to do just to end the conversation. And that's when it hit me. I wasn't managing Parkinson's anymore. I was managing conversations about Parkinson's. And that is exhausting. And here's another sneaky one. We start apologizing for things that don't require apologies. Sorry, I'm slow. Sorry, I forgot. Sorry, I need to sit. Sorry, I changed my mind. Nobody asked you to be sorry, but we say it anyways. Because somewhere along the line, we picked up this belief that our symptoms are inconveniencing everyone else. So we soften it. We start to over-explain things. We make ourselves smaller. And over time, we actually just stop talking. And not because we don't have anything to say, but because explaining feels harder than staying quiet. Now, if you're doing this with a partner or a care partner, there's another layer. But before we get to Carmen, I want to talk directly to the people doing this solo because this hits you differently. If you are doing this on your own, you don't have someone who can step in and help you or help explain for you. You don't have someone who can say, he's done this, he's done for the day, or this is too much right now. So you become your own buffer, and that is a lot. And here's something that helped me, and it might help you too. You don't need to explain everything in real time. You're allowed to have one pre-decided line to use when your energy is gone. Something simple. Like, I don't have the energy to explain this right now. I'm okay. I just need a break. Or, I can talk about this later. Now, that's not being rude. That's self-preservation. So if you are doing this solo, you're not bad at communication. You're just out of the explaining fuel. Well, there you go. And if you're doing this solo, let me know in the comments. Put a big heart in there so I know who you are. And know that I see you and others see you too. So you are not alone. I promise you're not alone. Okay. And now it's time for Carmen's Care Partner Corner. And here's what my wife, Carmen, wrote for me to read to you today. One of the hardest things for me to watch is when Bryce pushes past his limits because he doesn't want to explain why he needs to stop. He'll say yes to things he shouldn't, not because he wants to do them, but because explaining feels like more work than just doing it. A big part of my role is actually talking him down, not in a dramatic way, just reminding him that he doesn't have to do everything today. I'll say things like, you don't need to win today, or that can wait, or sometimes I just tell him, you're done. I'm calling it. It's true, she does that. And my job isn't to make sure everything gets done. It's to make sure he doesn't disappear just trying to keep up. And that matters. Because explaining yourself over and over again slowly teaches you to stop advocating for yourself. And that is not something that we should accept as normal. Wow. Very well said, Carmen. Thank you so much for that. That's awesome. And if you like that, give Carmen a heart in the comments or just like the video. If you like the video, it'll send it out to more people that need to hear this today. And if this episode made you feel seen, make sure you're subscribed. And if this hit home, tell me in the comments. Even just a me too helps somebody else feel less alone. Okay, well, if you made it this far, you have unlocked today's Bryce-ism. And here it is. With Parkinson's, by the end of the day, I'm not looking for advice. I'm looking for a decision that I don't have to make. All right. Well, there you go. And until next time, I want you to keep showing up. I want you to keep being real. And I want you to keep doing life today. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next episode.
Parkinson's may be part of your life, but it doesn't get to define it. Thanks for listening to Living with Parkinsons, the good, the bad, and the reality. If this episode moved you, helped you, or reminded you you're not alone, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Want to go deeper? The Inner Circle is waiting. Monthly Zoom calls, 24/7 community, and a direct line to Bryce. You'll find the link in the show notes. Until next time, keep showing up and keep doing life today.